Happy New Year! Ooh, y'all, let me tell you. I planned on making this video about my second year living with my illness, like at the beginning of December, when like my 2-year mark actually hit. But things happened and I never got around to it. And then I did make this video yesterday, on December 31st of 2023, thinking, okay, the new year is starting. This is actually right on time because this is around the time that like things start getting going for like my next season of living with this illness. But that video was corrupted in some ways digitally. And then I filmed this earlier this morning, and something about the organization of it all just was not it. So here I am again, hopefully for the last time, filming this update on what life has been like living with my chronic illness for the second year. Okay, so if I compare the first year to the second year living with this illness, I would say year one was more about recovery emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually, all of those things. Because I got diagnosed, had to quickly learn about how to adjust to this new lifestyle, then went into congestive heart failure, went into an 8-week coma, woke up, had to relearn how to do all of the physical things, mental things, cognitive things, all of that, and then also adjust to a life change, went through a divorce, now living as a single woman with this chronic illness, and just recovering from all of these changes and like huge life changes. So that's what I would that's how I would describe year one, all recovery based. This second year, y'all, I would say has been all adjustment based. So I went through all the recovery and got to maybe about 70 to 80% feeling like myself, physically, mentally, cognitively, all of those things. And then starting 2023, that's when I really started adjusting to all of the changes that had happened. In that first year, I still had my full-time job, but I was working from home from like April through December, that entire time. So there was a lot of time for me to rest. There was a lot of time for me to do my physical therapies and all the things that I needed to do to take care of my recovery efforts. And so starting January of 2023, I went back into the office full time, and that was an adjustment. And not just an adjustment physically, like getting used to keeping that daily routine. Even though I did have some accommodations that were super helpful, like having like a slower start to my day, and things like that, that was helpful. But still, getting my body to adjust to having energy to last a full work day and then come home, that took a minute, and it took most of the year for me to get used to that schedule. Also, what else happened at the beginning of the year? Oh, I was adjusting to like fully being on like this new journey of like singlehood after being married. You know, I was no longer in a 2-income household. On my own, I do just fine. However, now I have this chronic illness that has certain medications and doctor's visits and just supplies, all kinds of things that I have to factor in as well. So adjusting to changes that I would need to make as an individual person to take care of all of my responsibilities, along with the adjustment to living with the chronic illness and everything that comes along with that. And not only just taking care of those responsibilities financially, but also adjusting to living with the chronic illness without the support of like a partner or spouse or, you know, anything like that. So yeah, that was a huge adjustment. Which, I mean, I didn't really have a choice, so it was going to happen anyways. But looking back on that, um, man, I'm really proud of how well I took care of some of the situations that I was in, given that it's just me. Also, in my second year, um, I had moved into my own townhome because I knew that I was going to need like that push or like that little bit of something that like marked my independence and like um, gave me confidence or like strength or just like some type of understanding to know that I was going to be okay regardless of whether I had someone there or not. So I was living in my own townhome, and that was actually really nice. Um, and I was able to develop a routine that worked for me. I was able to get comfortable with doing all these things on my own. There were definitely times where, it was hard emotionally and mentally, but like I said, I am super proud of where I've come from after experiencing that during my adjustment year. Um, some other parts to adjust to with the beginning of 2023, going back to the financial part. Um, like I said, I came from a 2 income household to just me, and like I said, on my own, I'm fine. With the chronic illness, things start to get, you know, I start making some adjustments. But I don't know, things really just worked out for the best this past year when it came to my job, other streams of income, blessings that I received. Y'all, like I'm not gonna get into like the details of some of the things that happened for me or that happened in my life financially, but just know this is a very blessed year, and I'm so grateful and appreciative. What I will say is I did get more serious about my private practice outside of my full-time position, and that was super helpful in having like an extra stream of income. And then also, I went quarter time to a previous employer, that helped add like a third stream of income. And while working my full-time job, doing my private practice via telehealth from home, and then having like this day and a half of work at a different employer, um, the schedule just worked out. I wasn't overworked. I didn't feel like I was putting too much on my body. I didn't feel like there was too much on my plate. It just really worked out well. And I am so, like, looking back on it, I'm like, girl, you were doing a lot, but like it didn't feel like it. It I really had it set up to where it worked out just fine for me. So incredibly grateful for that. Um, I don't have the quarter time position anymore, because I replaced that with more private practice hours, um, which has evened out great. But I am really glad that I took on that quarter time position because that gave me an opportunity, not only to take care of some things financially, but also to kind of get some closure or like close the door on like a certain part of my life that I felt I needed to say goodbyes to. Um, I don't know what else to say on that without giving away like too many details, but I am very grateful for the opportunity that I had to go back to that position and really see what type of support that I have and the type of people who love and support me. And like I said, just get the closure that I needed being back there. So there's that. What else? Adjusting physically, like I said, going back to work full time, working my other jobs. I wasn't doing physical therapy anymore in this second year, but I did start doing a little bit more Pilates at home, and having like daily yoga stretches for a good bit of time. And then towards the end of the year, I started barre classes. Now, with my chronic illness, there's really not a lot of things that I can do that doesn't like exhaust me quickly. I can't really do cardio things. That is not a good idea for me. I will run out of air real quick. I also can't do like a lot of lifting of weights, straining myself, things like that. It's just not good for me. And the pressure in my lungs, I just can't withstand it. And since it's been like the weather's been like weird, like it was so hot this summer and now it's like cold, I haven't really been able to do a lot of walking. At the beginning of like in spring and early summer, I was walking maybe like 3 miles a day. Once summer really picked up, I couldn't do that anymore because it was too hot, and I can't be out in the sun like that. It's really not good for my skin. It's not good for my health. I cannot overheat. Things get bad. And now that it's super cold, I'm already cold easily anyway, so I'm not going outside for walks. But I started doing bar classes, which has been super helpful. A lot of the exercises remind me of what I was doing in physical therapy. Also, it's kind of nostalgic since there's like a ballet type quality to it. So like that reminds me of my childhood taking ballet classes. But it's a lot easier on my body, focuses more on weight, like lifting my own body weight, which is fine. And then balance and flexibility, which even though it's been 2 years since everything happened and I've gone through all the therapies and all of that, my balance is still kind of wobbly. The most that I do is just, walk to my car, walk to my office, things like that. That's fine. But when it comes to like other physical movements that you have to do like on a daily basis, like if I need to squat, pick up something, move something, I don't know, just things that like you don't even think about, it just seems like mechanical. I still struggle with some of those things. So bar has been super helpful for that. And then also with flexibility. Flexibility is really good for your health, period. So that's just giving me another form of exercise. It's been helpful for me. What else? Spiritually, I don't think I've had very much adjusting there other than it's still just been awesome. I can't remember in the first video if I said or not, but my relationship with God, like, was so tight when I woke up from the coma, and it's been so tight. Well, after I got through the initial anger, grief part, but my relationship with God has been so tight. This past year especially, I have stayed involved with a women's group at my church, my own Bible study that I've been with the same life group for a long time, my own connection with my relationship to God, and I'm just so grateful. It's also been helpful maintaining my relationship with God when it's come to situations like dating. Yeah, I tried that. I tried that a good 2 times. 2 very brief times. When I've attempted to date, I've gone into it with the same impression that I have when it comes to like my relationship with God and how I know God provides me unconditional love and never-ending grace, and that's something that I feel like I try to do intentionally in my relationships. And so that's something that I'd want back if I did want some type of romantic partner. That's a priority for me. That person's relationship with God and what kind of relationship with God they have. Meaning, do you operate from a place of grace? Okay. So there's that. What else in this year? Gosh, I mean, like I said earlier, there's a lot of details that like I'm not gonna share, but I just feel like I started off this year with some healing to do. And I was definitely experiencing some heavy resentments at the beginning of 2023. And I don't know, little things just happened throughout the year that really helped in my healing. And big blessings happened too that let me know that the things that I was resentful about didn't even matter. Like, even if I got, I don't know, an apology that I was looking for, or some type of or it's like a specific type of support, um I was giving blessings that immediately erased those resentments. Because even if I got those things that I was wanting, the apology, the support, whatever, um I didn't need it. God already had it taken care of. And I mean, I can say this in a financial sense. I can say this in a community sense. I can say this in a like a sense of love. Like, there was nothing that I was hurt about and wanting those things to happen that didn't get taken care of in a better way. Such a better way than I could have ever expected. It's kind of like that meme where the little kid is asking God for the little teddy bear, and he's like, "Are you sure?" Because behind his back he has this bigger one. Life has been good. That's all I'm going to say. It's been a really good year. It started off with a lot of pain and a lot of necessary healing that needed to be done. And I've just been thriving, and I've been incredibly blessed. And I'm so grateful for some of the experiences that I've had, some of the blessings that I've received, the support that I've had, and gosh, the healing. I don't even know how to explain the ways. Okay, well, I'll say this. So within this second year, after everything has happened and dealing with my chronic illness, I also experienced my 1 year anniversary of my divorce. And leading up to that, I like had really weird feelings, because it seems so final, which it already was. Like, I've been divorced, but it just felt so, like, it almost felt like a death in a sense, or like reliving a death, I guess I could say. But I don't know, something about hitting that 1 year mark, like once you pass that 1 year and then a day, it didn't feel like a death anymore. At least not for me. I don't know if that's true for other people, or if they feel that way like after, like the next day after the divorce is finalized or anything. But for me, that first year wasn't necessarily hard, but I definitely think that I had some feelings that I was still holding on to, and resentments and hurt and pain, things like that. But I did the therapies that I needed to do for that. I did the prayers that I needed to do for that. And then I took care of myself on that day to make sure that I felt loved, I felt supported, I felt like I had everything that I needed. And then the next day, it just felt like something new, you know? So, um, yeah, I consider that a part of my healing, because some of the resentments that I had at the beginning of the year were in regards to that. And then once the divorce anniversary hit and passed, I, you know what it was? Once the divorce anniversary passed, I reflected over everything I had done in that year since the divorce was finalized, and I just felt proud of myself, and I felt so good just in my own skin, and what I had been able to accomplish, and what I was doing with my life, and where I was going, and the plans that I had. And yeah, I felt like there was new I felt like there was new breath in my lungs after the anniversary. Um, so yeah, that was nice. And that felt really healing for me to be able to reflect on that and to reflect on the strength that I had and what I had overcome in that year since the divorce. Other areas of healing, man, that cognitive dissonance going back to work, and sitting there like I was gone for a whole year. Most of this year I was in the hospital, and now I'm just back in the office. And it's like, okay, we're moving forward. One of my coworkers had helped redesign my office so that it was like I was coming into a new space, which was really helpful. I had to do some trauma healing too, with like this understanding of like the last time that I was here working full time in the office, my fingers were blue. I went to the hospital and then I was out. And now I'm back every day as if nothing has happened, but it did. And how do I adjust to this? So like cognitively trying to wrap my head around the fact that like I was back. That was crazy this past year, but I'd say that lasted maybe about 6 months, and then I fell into like a good routine. And yeah, other areas of healing too when it comes to like my professional life. I already had like this I wouldn't say it was a concern, but like this thought about like what is life going to look like now that I'm back and I've had this experience, and am I still going to be like, am I going to have the same skills, which I did, and work has been fine. But like I said, I got more serious about my private practice, and I got really comfortable doing my own thing, and that's really motivated me to take further steps in growing my business. And I'm really excited about some things that I have planned for this year, 2024. And I think that that was a part of my healing process when it came to like my professional life this past year, and like building the confidence that I needed and like the motivation that I needed, and also accepting, that I am worth so much more than I was giving myself credit for. So that's been beautiful. But what else? I am still on the pump. So I still have my fanny pack connected to a central line, and I'll probably be on the pump for a while. Not worried about that. I'm just letting that go now. There was this hope that like I would transition onto a different med and I wouldn't have to be on the pump anymore, but for now, look, it's working. I can breathe. I feel like a normal person. I feel like I'm at 100% again, like me. So that's fine. But there is a new medication that's in trials right now that will probably be available within the 2024 year. And I do think that I'd be a good candidate for that. I've talked about it with my doctor. And so we're talking about maybe introducing that med to the rotation too. And then who knows, maybe things will be so great that I will come off the pump after getting used to that. I don't know. But it's an option, so that's cool. Yeah. If 2022 was a year of recovery, 2023 was a year of adjusting to a new lifestyle. And 2024, I don't know what the word for that year is going to be, or for this year is going to be. But what I will say is that I'm super excited about 2024 based on what I learned in 2023 and what I accomplished in 2023 as I was adjusting to this new lifestyle and all of these life changes. And not only excited about looking forward to like goals and plans that I have for this year, but also I'm excited for the things that I have no idea about for this year. The things that I don't know that are gonna happen, because I can't tell you how many times something happened in 2023 where I was like, is this really happening? This is huge. This is a blessing. And like I expected none of it ever. So Same thing for 2024. I have no idea what's on the horizon, but I don't know. I just feel like it can only go up from here. How can it go down? There's no way. After everything, there's no way. So yeah, I have some plans for this coming year. Because like I said, the things that I adjusted to in 2023 gave me confidence and motivation to reach for some bigger goals. And those are all in the works right now. I'm so excited about it. Oh my gosh. And with those plans and goals, since a lot of it will still revolve around how I adjust to making those goals happen while also navigating this illness, I plan on documenting those processes. So, if you are someone who also is diagnosed with pulmonary arterial hypertension or just pulmonary hypertension in general, or if you struggle with any other type of chronic illness and you're interested in watching content that revolves around daily living, lifestyle changes to adjust, keep following, and hopefully we can all learn something together. Gosh, with this past year, all I can say is that for anyone else struggling with a chronic illness, please know that you will figure out your own routine and your way of handling things and your process and how you ask for support, or what type of support you even need. You will figure it out. And nobody's story is going to be the same for like another person with a chronic illness. And that's fine, because what works for you is all that matters, and you will figure it out. Trust me. If I figured it out, going like literally coming back from death and then having to relearn everything, like literally like a baby learning how to do life, and then also going through a divorce at the same time, while also learning how to manage this illness that like is rare. If I can go through all of that and like have found my way of doing things, you can figure out your routine and stuff like that too. Like, it's gonna happen. And then once you do get it figured out in a way that works for you, it just gets better. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but once I got my routine down and figured out a way of managing my own responsibilities and navigating my illness and things like that in a way that works for me, it just got better and better and better and better and better, and things have just fallen into place. And I believe that would be true for anybody. You just gotta make it work for you, figure out what works for you, and just keep adding on to it, you know? So yeah, like I said, I plan on documenting a little bit more this year, what my journey with my chronic illness looks like. And I'm hoping that it can be an inspiration to you or someone else that you know that may struggle with a chronic illness. And I'm also looking forward to figuring out what the word for this year would be. It's like I said, 2022 was recovery. 2023 was an adjustment. 2024? I don't know. But I'm really excited for year 3. Like, I didn't choose this illness, but I'm finding gratitude in the life that I'm living after being diagnosed. So, Happy New Year!